It's here, the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time for the start of season 2, together with Jensen Button, of course. If you missed the last episode where we uh, updated the team to where we are now, then go and check that one out right now in the description. It will be there, but let's just get into practice then. We of course can't skip practice in our first race with our new livery. You can see we are now out on track with our beautiful car here in daylight. We had a lot of wheel spin coming out of the pits because the tires are cold when you first come out of the pits, of course. But we managed to get a good feel of how the car is this season. We will be upgrading the car, of course, throughout the season, but hopefully we can get enough points to be in the midfield as we end off our practice with a spin. You can see I did a qualifying run, which eventually put me in P7, and my teammate decided not to participate in practice 1. I don't know why, but I don't. I think he just has enough experience here that he doesn't need practice. So then here we go, it's time for qualifying. It's the first qualifying of the year, so hopefully we can get into Q2 with both myself and Jensen Button, of course, as he is a lot faster than my older teammate Liam Lawson. He is no longer in Formula 1. And you can see we put in our first lap is a 129.5, but that is not good enough, of course, to get into Q2. My teammate is way up ahead of me. I don't know in which position he is, but we are currently down in P19. Right ahead of Tsunoda and Schwarzman. Schwarzman, of course, making his debut in Formula 1 then. As Schumacher is also from Haas to Aston Martin, and also some other driver changes from season 1 to season 2. But as we are ending our lap then in qualifying 1, you can see we are improving by almost a second, 7/10 to be precise. And let's just hope we can get through to Q2 with that, as we are currently last. Through the last corner we go. We have an improvement of almost a second, 9/10 in total. Will it be enough? I think it is to go through to Q2, as we are in P9 right now. As you can see, my teammate Jensen Button in P12 as Sainz and Leclerc top of the first qualifying, with Leclerc and Hamilton setting the exact same time, and Vettel in P10 in his new McLaren. Here we go then in practice, no, not in practice, in qualifying 2. I'm actually not used to saying that, as we didn't get there so often in season 1. Of course, we did it sometimes that we got lucky and were fast enough, but this time we just nail it, first come, first serve. And we actually get into Q2, and we put in a beautiful lap of a 129.2. And you can see our teammate is even faster than us by 4/10 of a second. So as we are now in P7 and P10, we are going out once again for that last lap. Hopefully we can improve by a lot. We are currently 1/10 up, make it 2/10 throughout turn 4. We have a Ferrari in front, but I don't think we get a lot of dirty air from that car, as he is faster than us, of course, in that championship winning car. Leclerc won season 1 the Drivers' Championship, as we are improving by 6/10. We are currently in P15, maybe even P16. But as we improve by 7/10, you can see we are not through to qualifying 3. We are in P12, which is still amazing. As you can see here right now, this was the time we did last time around. It was a 1:31.5, and our time now is a 1:28.5. So we improved the car by 3 seconds in just one season, which is absolutely amazing. And Jensen Button in P11 right in front of us. Let's go to the race.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal, and it's make or break here at round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. Formula One returns to the desert today on this exceptional 3.36 mile circuit. 15 corners provide plenty of overtaking opportunities, and it could be a strategic race, this one, with Sakhir notorious for eating up the rear tyres. Watch out for drivers managing their rubber at some point during the Grand Prix. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And P2 goes to Daniel Ricciardo, a strong showing from the Australian. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Sainz, Verstappen, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Russell, Vettel, Perez, Fernando Alonso, and Lando Norris. The engineer, Magnussen, Pierre Gasly, and Albon, Ocon, Joe, Lance Stroll, and Mick Schumacher, Tsunoda, Schwartzman, Button, and Nicholas Latifi. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today as once again we get another year of Formula One underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice. They've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
First race of the season, and immediately our teammate gets a penalty. I don't know why. It was probably just a engine component which he wasn't happy with. So that's him down in P21. We are starting in P11 on the soft tires. The estimated pit stop strategies are softs to hards or mediums to hards, but I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do soft to medium. My team said that it should be possible with the amount of tire wear that I had in practice. So let's just listen to them then, as we are lining up on the grid right now to start off the first season. The first race of the second season actually. It's the first time we go into season 2 here for the Bahrain GP. As we are now all lined up for the start of the race, then it's now time. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. It's lights out. Yes, it's the lights out, and away we go. We have an amazing start, and my finger slipped off the pedal, or the clicker where you upshift with, as that was my. It was just accidental, so we have a beautiful start and fighting with Lando Norris in the Alfa Romeo. I'll still need to get used to that, as normally Bottas is in his seat. As Perez is still ahead of us. We tried to overtake him, but it didn't work. And Norris tried to go down the inside, but that didn't work either. We are still in lap 1 and we are the first driver on the soft. So hopefully we can stay there and get our first points here in season 2 in our first race, as Norris and Magnussen and Gasly and everybody have been fighting quite a lot, and we had a lot of wheel spin or oversteer out of that first corner. But you can see we are still holding on to Perez in lap 3 then. As there's a yellow flag, is it the first DNF of the season? Let's see. It's resume racing, and is Nicholas Latifi the first DNF of the season? unfortunate for him, but it doesn't matter for us. As I think my teammate got damage from that, as he had to pit as well just a lap later and is now down into P21. So that's unfortunate for us, as he was quite fast in qualifying, and I think that if he got a chance to show his true potential, that he could have gone back up maybe into P12, P11, or even into the points. As we are now in lap 7, we are losing touch with Perez as our tires are dying off. We are pitting in lap 10. But you can see Norris is still quite far back and Albon now 16 seconds back. They are all pitting, I guess, because otherwise why are they so far back? I don't think that it is because of battling. Otherwise we would have noticed that with the amount of time they lost over the 9 laps time that we've already had. We are getting a lot of wheel spin out of turn 10, and as we are going into lap 10, it's pit window open and we are going into the pits this lap 10. As I put my personal best in this last lap. So I told myself, if we can get into the DRS by the end of lap 10, then we are staying out. But as you can see, it's still 1.5 seconds and 1.2 seconds as we come to the end of lap. So into the pits we go, and immediately we go out of the pits. And you can see one car is coming through, and there's another. It's a Williams and an Aston Martin. It's Lance Stroll who we come out behind. As you can see, 2 other drivers behind us. It's a AlphaTauri and a Alfa Romeo. It's Tsunoda and Schwartzman. Schwartzman having a good first race. He's currently in P15. And as you can see, coming through the penultimate corner, we are having a look at our fuel, and it's at 0 laps extra, and we know that from somewhere. But we need to hold on to that final points pay position. Through the penultimate corner we go. Can we hold it? The last corner. Please tell me we can. Not enough fuel. We are on low fuel mode. Is it enough? If it's enough, that you will need to find out yourself. Link is in the description as well. And if I've forgotten to put it there, then let me know in the comments down below. But we are losing a lot of fuel. I don't know why that is sometimes. Just random in some races, and we lose a lot of fuel, and other races we are good with the fuel and we can conserve a lot. As we put in a purple first sector, and I'm going to take you through this lap as it is my fastest lap of the race. Also I think I don't actually know, I didn't really look at the laps after this one. But we are currently in P13 then, coming to the end of sector 2 and closing the gap with Stroll ahead. Hopefully we can get some DRS of him, as that would get us an advantage. Second sector is green, so no second purple sector. But of course that's logical, as we are not in the fastest car yet. We are now currently in negative fuel. So let's hope we can conserve that, as we want to finish this race, of course, not with an empty, not with empty fuel. As we put in the fastest lap is a 1:30.6. 2 out of 3 sectors are purple, as we put in a huge dive bomb into turn 1. We overtake Stroll without any problems, and Norris is currently 6 seconds back on hard tires. So that you can see there that we haven't lost anything, as we are now coming into lap 15. Then Perez is in the pits as he is coming out of it. Where will he come out? It will be just ahead of us where he was. We managed to get to gain some time back, but not a lot, unfortunately, that we could overtake him.
Gap to your teammate behind is 26.4 seconds. They're on old mediums. They're currently 17th place. Your last lap time was a 1:32.8.
So here's our teammate then. He's currently in P17. fighting with the two Aston Martins. Let's see if he can do something about those two. Of course, he hasn't been in a Formula 1 car for a long time. The last time he was in a Formula 1 car, we didn't have our team on the grid, of course, as it is a new team since last season. But he couldn't do anything about those two Aston Martins as he went into the pits once again. It's currently lap 18 and we are still in negative fuel, minus 0.1 laps to be precise. And I actually don't know if we can finish this race as we are in P10 with the fastest lap, so that should give us 2 points in total. But we need to lift and coast as much as we possibly can. As there's a yellow flag and it's Max Verstappen going around. Can we have a replay of that, please? As we are currently up into P8, thank you very much. You can see here coming through the corner and he makes a perfect 360. Unfortunately for him, he isn't in P1, so he can't spin and win as he did a long time ago. Or not a long time ago, it was in Hungary, of course. As there was a DNF from someone, I just noticed it now. How did I not see that during this race? As we are overtaking Perez, we are 3 wide down the start finish straight. Who is going to come out ahead as we are still side by side by side? We put a lovely switchback on Max Verstappen, and you can see we are once again ahead of both of them. Coming into turn 4, and they are side by side, the two Red Bull drivers, and they lose a lot of time by fighting, of course, which you can see right here. They are losing so much time. We are currently up by at least 2 seconds, but they gain that all back in just a few laps, as they are still fighting. Oh, actually no, that was the point where we were. As you can see now, lap 23, only a few laps to go. Perez is still quite close behind us with only 4 tenths, and I don't think that we can do anything about him right now. So you can see he's just passing us with that much more speed. And I'm lifting and coasting as much as I possibly can to finish this race, hopefully in P8, maybe in P9, as we have still a super fast Max Verstappen behind us now at our right hand side. Coming to turn 4, and we are still in front of him. Luckily we have a gap to Norris, so if we have too little fuel, there is no problem there. As you can see, we are following through Perez and getting that DRS to defend from his teammate. Currently still only 3 tenths, 2 tenths between us. He is really close as he goes for a look down the inside, but no room there then with the dying stages of this Grand Prix. We are holding on to that 1 second gap as we have damage to the rear diffuser. Max Verstappen just collides with us out of nowhere. I don't know why he did that. As you can see him here right now coming to turn 9 and 10, and he loses his front wing. He loses his front wing where there was no gap, and he knows there was no gap because there just wasn't a gap. You can see he lost his he just completely lost his front wing, and he needs to get into the pits, which prevents him from scoring points this race. We lost about 3 seconds to the car ahead, Sergio Perez, and we are not that far up ahead compared to Norris and Ocon. So let's just hope that we can hold on to this 8th position, as we are still 0.1 seconds down, as we are in the penultimate lap 10. As there's a spin. Who was that? It's Robert Schwarzman in his debut. He didn't have a good ending to his first race, as he first spun in lap 28 and later on his car gave up on him and he needs to retire in the penultimate lap of his debut race. Of course, that doesn't change anything for us, as he was behind us. But you can see now in the last lap, Lennon was going down the inside, but he doesn't manage to overtake us, as Charles Leclerc has a new fastest lap, only a few thousandths of a second faster than ours. So we lose that. We lose that point as they are still improving. Sebastian Vettel managed to get on the podium in P3 as Leclerc wins the race, and Lando Norris is side by side with us. But you can see coming out of the last corner, our car has no more fuel and we lose P8 and P9 in the last straight, and we come home to finish our first race here in Season 2 in P10. Luckily, we still get a point. Unfortunately, it's not 4 points, which we would have gotten if we got enough fuel in the car, and Esteban Ocon gets driver of the day then for today's race.
That's it then for another spectacular Grand Prix here in Bahrain, and a real champion's drive to take the win. Tell me, Ant, how do they manage to achieve this win? Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari, do it again.
It's the first race after Charles Leclerc wins his first championship, and he immediately wins the first race after that. And Sebastian Vettel is on the podium once again. It's been a long time since he's been there in our career, of course. But yeah, it's an amazing race. Of course, unfortunate for us that we had too little amount of fuel to actually finish the race in P8. But for the rest, it was an amazing race. And let's see then what the standings are. As we finish in P10, and the fastest lap was only just a few tenths faster than us. As we go down, you can see Max Verstappen in P13 eventually, and our teammate Jensen Button in P17, even though he had some problems with damage and everything. So I'm really proud of him to still get P17. As we have our rivalry breakdown, we are +4 compared to +2 for Pierre Gasly, as we are currently winning the rivalry. Of course, it's our first race, so we don't know if we will come out ahead, as a team acclaim is going up by just that slightest bit. And now then the amount of cash that we have is revealed to us. We get over $500,000 from this weekend alone. Of course, with some damage that we had, it will be a little bit reduced. So we now have a total of $4.1 million, which we can spend on some facilities. So let's see that then, as we will see that in the next episode. Sorry for that. So the next episode will be the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. If you don't want to miss that, then please like and subscribe and let me know what you think of the livery, if I should change it or not. And then in the next episode we will also do this aerodynamics department event. Goodbye.